You've got a Nintendo Switch and you just want to play some of the best classic retro games on the Nintendo Switch Online service? Well, here's what they are. Welcome back to Weekly Waste of Time. My name is Jeff Landsman. I'm so excited about today's show because we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch Online service and a little bit about the expansion pack, but mostly Nintendo Switch Online. We're gonna give you a list of 10 games, I've got 10 here, that I think are great pick up and play games. So please, don't come at me with, those aren't the best games. Your list sucks, buddy. Okay, you can say it, don't say it, whatever. But I gotta tell you, these are not necessarily the best games. These are just amazing games that anybody can play. These are games for all ages, and I sort of thought that that idea would fit what this show is. Weekly Waste of Time, we review tech, but we don't talk about it in a techie way. We don't talk about specifics and the minutia and all that other nonsense. We're just gonna have a conversation about it. So let's get straight to the list. But before we do that, what is Nintendo Switch Online, Jeff? You sort of skipped that. Well, it's pretty simple. You pay $19.99 a year and you get classic Nintendo games and classic Super Nintendo games. If you want this for your family, it's $34.99 a year. If you want access to Sega Genesis games and Nintendo 64 games, you pay $49.99 a year for an individual or $79.99 a year.
Get ready.
Now you know what it costs. The first 7 games will be all included in the standard regular Nintendo Switch Online pack, and the last 3 will be there for those of you who want to spend the extra money and get Sega Genesis and N64 access. Number 1 is Super Mario Brothers. When I was a kid, I used to love this game. I came from Atari. Wow, you're old, Jeff. I came from Intellivision. I didn't have one, but I played it. I came from ColecoVision, which I also didn't have. And then I had a Commodore 64. And then I played Super Mario Brothers for NES. And I was transfixed. I was blown away. I was like, this game is fluid. It's fun. It's not hard, but it's not easy. It's just a good time. The graphics are vibrant and smooth and fast. It's a classic game, and everybody knows Super Mario Brothers, so it has to be number 1. Number 2, Tecmo Bowl for the NES. Now, Tecmo Bowl is football, right? But anybody, if you understand the basics of football, can play this game because, as you can see here, you have 2 choices for your run play and 2 choices for your pass play. That's it. Okay, what are the other choices, Jeff? This is how it was in 1985. These are the 4 choices. Okay, how do I do defense? You guess which choice I've picked. That's the game. I went to Indiana University and I played this in college a ton. So, number 2, Tecmo Bowl. Number 3, Double Dragon for NES. Now, this is what they call a beat 'em up. What's a beat 'em up? Well, a beat 'em up is essentially one of these games where you beat the bad guys up. You kind of walk through and you beat them up, move on. Beat them up, move on. It's one of the first of its kind that was a huge hit. It was an arcade game that was translated to Nintendo. You can see here the guys are all like a little plump guys. They didn't have enough graphics at the time to make them tall and good looking, which you'll see in a game later in the list. But Double Dragon, it's just fun. It's just a good time. So, and again, anybody can play it. Number 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. It's another side scroller. You're scrolling on Super Mario. You're side scrolling on Double Dragon. Now you're scrolling with the ghouls and the ghosts. And what do? You kill them. That's the game. These are games that when I was a kid, I just wanted to start. You just want to play. Or you'd go to the arcade and you just want to play. You don't want to learn how to play or all the buttons. There were 2 buttons. That was it. No triggers. No extra 2 buttons. So you jump and you shoot. That's it. Number 5 is Super Punch-Out, and I got excited when I just looked at it on my list because Super Punch-Out, you may say, well, why didn't you put Punch-Out on there? Punch-Out deserves to be on here, but if I'm only going to put one, it's Super Punch-Out because the graphics you can see got a lot better. The gameplay got a lot sort of like bigger. The sound on the Super Nintendo is way better than the sound on the Nintendo. And it's just boxing, and it's fun. Super Mario All-Stars, yes, please. This is 4 Super Mario games. You get Super Mario Brothers 1, you get Super Mario Brothers 2, the Japanese edition, which is essentially Super Mario Brothers 1, but with harder levels. You get Super Mario Brothers 2, the American version, which is a totally different game that they rebranded as Super Mario Brothers. And then you get Super Mario Brothers 3. And these are all phenomenal games. Yes, they're all available individually for NES. If you want to play the original versions, don't argue with me. I just like these versions because they're sort of like, these are like a little twist, a little better graphics, better sound, better, but it's the game. It's the exact same game as the other ones. And I remember when I got this, I was like, I got 4 games on this cartridge. 4 games on this cartridge. What? So, and the last Super Nintendo game is Donkey Kong Country. When this game came out, people were like, what is this game? How are they getting these like 3D looking models in a Super Nintendo game? Well, it turns out they just sort of, they did them as 3D models, and then they recreated them as pixels. And so we've got this beautiful looking game. It's not that hard. It's kind of like Super Mario Brothers, but you're playing with Donkey Kong. You slide scroll through the level, and it's just a good time on the SNES. Now, if you wanted to pay the extra to have access to Sega Genesis and N64, I'm going to give you 3 games that are not necessarily the best games available, but they are the best pick up and play games available as of this recording. I anticipate many, many, many more games in the future, starting with Streets of Rage 2. This is sort of the spiritual successor to Double Dragon. Way better graphics, you can see. No longer little squishy guys. Now you got these guys going through, and it's the same game, essentially. It's the same idea. It's a beat 'em up. You go through and you beat people up, and you go through and you beat people up. The next one is a game that I never played as a kid, but I was like, I'm going to finally try this game for the show, and it's Shinobi. Shinobi is another kind of beat 'em up, but you're a ninja. Ooh. Okay, enough said about that. And the last one is N64's Dr. Mario 64. Now, you're going to say, oh, I can't believe you didn't talk about Mario Kart 64, Mario Tennis, or Star Fox, or Super Mario 64. No, the easiest game in what's available right now is Dr. Mario 64, which you can see here is sort of like a Tetris clone. It's just fun. It's easy to pick up and play. I didn't read the manual, and I figured it out in like 1 minute. So that is the list. Once again, I'm going to pull it up to the side here. We've got Super Mario Brothers, Tecmo Bowl, Double Dragon, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Punch-Out, Super Mario All-Stars, Donkey Kong Country, Streets of Rage 2, Shinobi, and Dr. Mario 64. If you want to visit me on Twitter, it's twitter.com/Jeff Landsman. Don't subscribe. I don't want, every YouTube video say, oh, you should like and subscribe. Don't like and don't subscribe. This is a waste of time. Forget it. I'm out of here.